Hello and welcome back to Marty's Matchbox Makeovers. Today is not a makeover but more an introduction into life in the country and how I am getting back in the game with a new style of internet service that is available now in Australia. It's coming today, so I'm very excited. I'm out on my front fence here and I am desperately seeking the postmistress coming from Glenorchy Post Office. Which will hopefully have Elon Musk's Starlink satellite dish on board. Elon Musk, of course, is the guy that was responsible for PayPal, Tesla, and SpaceX. Well, he uses his SpaceX Falcon 9 rockets to launch satellites these days, 60 every 2 weeks. Each satellite only weighs 260 kilos, so he can cram 60 of them in each rocket and send them up. His initial goal is to have 12,000 satellites in low orbit, which should provide fast internet for people in remote areas such as me. I'm out here now, and as I said, I used IINet satellite system and it is absolutely atrocious. The first time we got it, in 4 days we used up our download limit and we were capped for the rest of the month, which was extremely disappointing because we couldn't actually do anything because the speed was so slow. So, after nearly 7 months of waiting, it finally arrived. That long anticipated package. I can't wait to get this system up and running.
Time to unbox the Starlink.
So I'm just laying it out on the front porch here. Got a knife from the kitchen, cutting it open. It's extremely exciting, rather bland packaging. I told the post mistress that there was only 400 of these in Australia at the moment, and I think about 100,000 worldwide, so it is cutting edge technology. It's all in beta mode at the moment. They're still fine tuning it. They need more satellites to achieve their goals. I read on the internet that they want up to 42,000 satellites eventually, so that there's coverage all over the globe in all remote areas, except for the North and South Pole, I think I read somewhere. Anyway, having a look in the box here, it's well packaged. And it's all pre-connected, which is a bit odd. I suppose it's idiot-proof. That big picture piece of paper there that I pulled out before, you could see there was only 3 diagrams there showing you what to do. Basically put the satellite on the roof, plug it in and switch on. So I hope it's that easy. So there's a power supply and a modem. And a hell of a lot of cabling here. I read on the internet it's 100 feet of cable, which is totally mental because extremely long, and it's hardwired to the satellite dish, which I'm pulling out now. It's supposed to be the size of a pizza, but I mean, that's huge. Phased array antenna, they call it, which tracks satellites somehow, automatically. And it comes with this tripod stand. And it just slots in like that, and there's 2 spring-loaded buttons that engage in those holes. And it's fairly solid. The stand, by the way, is extremely heavy. It's like cast, I guess it's some kind of alloy, but I don't think it's aluminium because it's extremely heavy. There's nothing else in the box other than the satellite, the stand, the cables, the modem, and the power supply. So let's go plug it in. I thought this was going to be a 5-minute job, but it took me 15 or 20 minutes to untangle the cable. It was neatly coiled up in the box, but as soon as I unboxed it, it kind of went into a big ball of mess, you know, like leads do. It's the order of chaos in nature, and you have to put up with it, but it's really annoying. So eventually I've decided I'm going to put it on the roof. It needs no obstructions from trees or other buildings. There's no other buildings around here. So I'm lucky in that respect, but we do live next to a state forest. So there are a few trees. I only need a couple of tools here. I'm using a screwdriver and a hex head drill bit there. Here's the stand. I ordered this additionally. It's the roof mount. And I'm rather disappointed in it. It's nothing fancy at all, really. It's just a plate with a tube on it and these cable clamps. Although there is some of this rubberized sticky material so that when you drill through your roof, whatever it is, tiles or tin, mine's tin, I guess you put this on when you're drilling in, and it automatically seals the holes for you. So I should be doing that on these 6 holes on this stand. Now there's something interesting here that's quite a nice idea, I guess, and I must admit it did make my life easier. It's a little backpack that you can put the apparatus in as you're climbing up on the roof, so you don't have to hold it. You've got all your hands free to grip the ladder. So first up, I'm removing that initial stand. I mean, the stand's good, it works, but you have to have it at ground level. We've got so many dogs around here, they probably chew the leads or wheel over it or something, so decided this has got to go on the roof because it's very important that there is no obstructions that will get in the way of this satellite dish and the satellite. And that's the key to high-speed internet, apparently. So I'm going to give it a go. I get that dog out of the way and I'm climbing up this ladder that I reckon might be 50 years old. It's made of wood and it creaks on every rung. So I'm taking my life in my hands here, and I'm rather nervous, but I'm conscious of the 3 points of contact rule. If you're ever climbing on anything that's higher than you always have 3 points of contact before you let go. You've got 4 limbs, right? So always have 3 of your limbs in contact with something before you let go of the 4th. And it's quite a good rule of thumb there to keep you safe when you're operating up above the ground. I've also got a safety rope up there that I'm gripping hold of just in case I slip and slide down this very steep roof. Here's the old part of our house. There's the IINet satellite. And this I'm on now is the new part of the house. The previous owner added an extension, and that's what attracted us to it, because it was a little bit larger than originally built, and it suits our needs. So I didn't get any footage of putting the bracket in place, but rest assured it went quite well. And I spent 15 minutes setting up a tripod and camera to film this moment, the monumental moment of me installing the satellite dish. And I dragged the cable and the cord up with the legs of the tripod. The tripod fell over, so you missed it. Anyway, there's the finished installation, and I am just got to route the cable suitably across the roof, make it look neat. So I'm using those little cable clamps that came with it, and I'm removing the original screws from the roof because they're going into bearers. So I take a screw out, I then put a clamp in its place, and I use the original screw through the original hole, and it worked quite well. Held the cable nice and straight and taut, and it looks neat. The only thing was I had to hold the clips with these pliers because otherwise they would rotate and kink the cable, which didn't look good, and I was a little bit worried it would like break the core of the cable. It didn't, but yeah, that's how I did it. And I used the original rubber washers on the screws that I removed, so that there's no chance of rainwater coming into the house after I've carried this procedure out. Bit fiddly, took some time, longer than I thought. I got cramp in my legs, my feet kept getting jammed under the gutter behind me. And right on the edge here I had to remove the spouting clamp to feed the cable underneath it, and that was enough for me for one day. You can see there's a safety line on the right there tethered off to a stump of the house. The cable's drooped down and goes through the window where there's a cat flap. I shall be making that look neater in the future, but for today I wanted to get testing the Starlink out and seeing how good it is. When you switch it on, the satellite dish automatically orientates to the sky. It's pretty cool to watch. You can hear all the servos moving, and this thing moves and tracks the satellite. And here's a comparison of the download and upload speeds that I had with my previous internet provider and now Starlink. And as you can see, the results are quite dramatic. And this is day one. Apparently it gets better after 24 hours. So I cannot wait. I mean, this is unbelievable. We've been living out here with practically no internet, and now we've got the fastest internet in Australia. So thank you, Elon. I'd love to have a beer with you one day because you have saved my skin. And I look forward to uploading some new videos very soon. Thanks for watching. This is Marty from Marty's Matchbox Makeovers saying thanks for sticking around, and I will see you soon.